Hey Justin, Ben, America's Baseball Camp. Just going through your swing from the spring break camp and just wanted to touch base on a couple things that I learned from the Chicago White Sox organization that I think I can pass on to you from mechanics-wise. But you are in good shape for a lot of things that you do. So let me back it up here a couple swings and let's chat about a couple things. One in regards to our start or our stance. Good knee bend. I like where your feet are. I like where your hands are. Your eyes are in good shape. Be careful of that bad angle not to get too steep on you, just to get it in a good launch position. And you do that once you go into a stride, so I'm not too concerned about that. So athletically, you look the part. Good shape in regards to this part of your swing. So now, when I get myself loaded up, first thing I do want to chat about is I want to engage the lower half more. You are very athletic, but I think you can do a lot more with your lower half than what you're doing. I think you can get more out of it. Let's focus down on that front foot, that landing foot. And what I want to do is I want to focus on it lands a little bit open. You land outside, your weight lands outside of your feet. And what I want you to do is I want you to land more inside of the feet or the ball of the foot. At this point of our swing, you can see that your heel is more facing the backstop going kind of this way. And what I would like to see right now is your foot is more going towards that part of the backstop. And that's going to turn that foot to help you hit more against a firm, closed front side. So we're trying to get you to land more athletic, where you really get yourself flexed, but you're turned in, so you're really landing strong and you can hit against a firm front side when you rotate. Because right now you kind of tap that toe and that front leg's kind of already straight a little bit. I want to get more weight up there because you get your weight left back a lot, and we have to transfer it more. So when you land, let's have that weight be a little bit more. You can see that back leg is a little bit more flexed than my front leg, this knee compared to this, and that's going to get us be late and lose our power just to stay back. So land more athletic. Don't be afraid to transfer that weight and get yourself in a strong position ready to go with that kind of heel, not necessarily showing to the pitcher, but just a little bit more angle to have that front foot more point towards the first base dugout compared to more towards first base right now. And that's going to be key, because you can see when I go to swing, I think we can be a little bit stronger at contact when we do that to kind of drop our hands in. The other thing I want to see is to create that more whip effect is your angle. Maybe take the bad angle and just turn it not behind you, but just have it right in here so you can kind of use that whip and have that great more bat speed. It is a little bit muscly now when we come through. We're kind of just muscling instead of throwing your hands right at the pitcher, you can see we kind of drop our hands and then we kind of not necessarily push our hands to the ball, but we need to drop our hands in on the baseball to focus on being more athletic and being more through the ball. You can see at the end how we finished pretty far back with that heel on the ground. If I look at this back heel thing, you can see that that's on the ground. Make sure at this point of your swing that heel is nice and high. You can see you're up on your toe and your front foot. And what I want to do is you can have this, it doesn't want to be completely locked, that knee, just nice and firm. But I would like to see at this point of our swing where both your legs are not locked out. You can see that this one's locked and that one's locked, which means you're using all your arms right now. And that's pretty important of what we want to do to make sure what you want to have happen is you want a nice bend in this knee, even at the finish. And you want this firm. Don't have it locked, but you want to be on the big part of my foot to have really good balance and really good position. Make sure when you finish also, to not have your bat go down in that direction, just kind of always keep it above the hands. Just a good habit to get into of working downhill through the baseball and just finishing nice and high. Let's go ahead and look at another swing here. And I know these are probably soft toss or short toss, but just make sure we get really aggressive through the baseball. Good take. Just get yourself nice and relaxed. We need to create that more of a whip action with your hands. It's a little bit muscly, so just create that whip. Just kind of get those fingers. Don't shove it way in your grip. As you get yourself loaded up here, make sure your barrel gets really turned. You can get yourself loaded up. You can see that your hands go back, but your barrel's still this way, and that's not going to create any leverage. So as you go back and turn, make sure that barrel gets over here, where that's going to get us some whip action, and create where we can drop our hands. We can go straight down this way into the baseball to be down and through, working downhill, and then once we get towards plane, you get on plane and get through the baseball. But you can see as I go here that my hands drop in by my body, and that's going to make us more muscly because we're going to get into a push. So we're kind of just, you're going to drop your hands and push them through the ball. And I want you to feel more of a downward angle to really focus on dropping the bat head. We take that bat head and really hammer the top half of the baseball to get that nice tight backspin. And that's really important as I go through here. You can see that it kind of comes inside, and then we're just kind of pushing our way through. So I think you did a good job on getting through this one, but I think we can get more power out of your swing if it's more of the same kind of feel, but more dropping your hands in compared to dropping your hands and pushing forward through the baseball. The other thing that I noticed here, when you go to stride, you can see you kind of really point that toe, and you don't land very strong in that front foot. You can see we're kind of on our toe. I want to be on the big meat part of my foot with that heel more turned towards the pitcher, where you're going to have a lot more flex in our leg, and you're going to be able to get really into that baseball a little bit harder and a little bit more aggressive. You can see as I rotate, look at this front hip. This front hip and this foot really open up, and this knee's bent, and it's really going to take away the power right here that we don't have a lot to go into the ball, so we're going to have to muscle it and just push our hands through it that way, and that's what we're kind of talking about. You can see at contact, we don't want our knees to be that close together. You want that front foot to be closed, and that's going to bring that knee kind of over here. If that front foot is not open like that to the pitcher, it's just going to give us more leverage and more power if there's space in between those knees. So you always want to hit with some space in there at contact, to have a little bit of space in there that you can see. It's going to really engage your lower half here. Let's check out your finish on this one. Finish on this one was good. Make sure at the end, again, we want to hold it there at the end. Make sure that this doesn't finish down, that it finishes up, and make sure that this heel doesn't get off the ground here, that heel gets nice and high, that front side stays closed. So just those couple tweaks, those 3 or 4 things that are really important in regards to when I'm hitting, and those should really help you by working on those. So work on them off the tee, work on them on a soft toss, take your swings, hold your finish, get in the habit of really coming through that ball and dropping those hands in on the ball and not feeling like we have to push and use our muscles to do it. Get a little bit more closed, firm front side, stride with more weight towards the front a little bit. And those are just the small tweaks that I would recommend for you. So we wish you have a great season. Thanks for coming to camp, and I hope to see you back next year.